Evening, welcome to the Gooner Booth. It's the match preview. It's the quarterfinals of the League Cup. Something a bit different. Crystal Palace at home. It's a big game. There's a lot to get into. Before we get started, if you're watching us live, feel free to comment, get involved, smash a like button, and subscribe. Good evening, guys. How we doing?
Good evening, boys. Good evening, Dave. Good evening, Tone.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting podcast tonight because I feel like we're going to be more talking about who hasn't had many minutes and who deserves to get minutes tonight and who do we want to see. So I think that obviously we'll get on to your predicted 11, Wayne. It's a big part of the show now and a preview. But yeah, I think that, before we get into that, what's your thoughts on this game ahead? We played on Saturday. Things are going to be thick and fast now. We go back into the weekend at Brighton at home. And then, Aston Villa, they've got Liverpool in this fixture run. If you're Arteta, what are you doing?
Yeah, go on, Dave. You go ahead, my friend. You tell us what you think, matey.
Yeah, I just think that really he should make as many changes as he can for this game. Even though we want to make it through this, and this cup would be a great stepping stone to win something. So basically, if you look at the winners of this cup over the last few years, it's always been the team with the best squad. So i.e. that's why Man City have won it, because they had two players for each position. Obviously, the team we're playing, Palace, are just coming off of, I think, this will be their third game in about 6 days or something like that. Because obviously they had Europa League or Conference League. Then they've had the weekend game, and then obviously they're going to have this game. So we're a little bit more fresher than them, obviously, because we had a week off prior to Everton. So I think a lot of changes is needed. But then again, there's certain areas where players being that, we're going to have to play one or two of our key players, i.e. Saliba or Timber might have to be chucked in just to balance it all out, But we'll talk about that more as we go along, boys.
Yeah.
Go on, mate.
Sorry, Bones. Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you, Dave. I mean, as I say, we'll discuss it, and it's what it's all about when we put it through, sort of thing. It's open to debate. I agree with you, Dave. Unfortunately, in defence, boys, we haven't got that rotational options at the moment, and unless you throw in that 16-year-old kiddie Marley Salmon, you haven't got much choice. And exactly, Tom.
Arteta hasn't got that sort of trust. Arsene Wenger would, but
that's the thing.
I don't think Arteta would.
No, I mean, as David said, and as we did say last night as well, and he's reiterated. Sorry, I think as well, it's one of them competitions. All right, it's not top of the list, boys. It's not top of the list, but we have, when everyone's fully fit, a strong enough squad to attack it. Same with the FA Cup. But right now, it's got to be a lot of rotations. You'll see in my starting 11, and again, this would be a chance for you boys to also put your stuff in, and anyone watching as well. It's for me, it's gone a bit cautious at the back, but we'll get to that. But yeah, Tony, we've got so much attacking options, mate. It's the defence at the moment that worries me in terms of rotation, and that's important for some players, Tony.
Yeah, it sort of swung in a big roundabout, hasn't it? We've started the season with no attackers. Now we're going into the end of the year with no defenders.
Crazy.
Thing is, there's some people also on Twitter, and again, there's their internet sort of like Gabby M coming back. I mean, for me, it is fantastic, but I think at the moment the right hand side is where the problem is. It's not so much the left hand side, and what I mean by that is Big Gabs will come in when he's fully fit, and we don't want to risk him. That's
are you
referring
if Timber gets injured, we've got no backup?
This is what I'm saying, Bones.
Yeah.
I am so worried. Mosquera and Timber are your rotational off. Sorry, guys. Mosquera and White. Sorry, everyone. Yeah. They're your rotational options, and they're out injured. And it's Norgard can cover at right centre back, but we haven't got another sort of right back. You have got, if you go further back, you got that young kiddie, and bloody small kid, isn't he? I can't. Sorry, boys. The name is
like Nelson, or something.
No, I can't.
He played right back. I think.
What is his name?
No.
I think of his name, but he's a tidy player. Nichols. Sorry, Nichols.
Nichols. That's
the one. Why don't he get some game time?
To be fair, Nichols, I would put him in the squad.
Good evening, Charles. Good to see you, buddy. Thank you for joining.
Nice to see you, Charles.
Is Miko withholding Big Gabby to it? I hope so, mate.
Charles. thanks for joining again, mate. You know, appreciate it. And again, keep the comments coming. I think he is big Gabby. Again, he's one of them players that you'd go, look, if you're fit, you're 60% fit, you're 70% fit. Him and Saliba's partnership is second to none, boys. I think I agree. I think that's what he's doing, Charles. But thanks for joining, mate. Yeah, that's what our opinion at the moment is. I think he's holding them back for the bigger games. I'd say definitely. But yeah, Josh Nichols, boys, and Marley Salmon are two of the youngsters as well.
Evening, buddy.
Cheers, evening, Alf. Thanks for joining, mate.
All right, Alf.
Yep, exactly.
Asked us to look at the big cup competition at the start to set confidence. Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, confidence boost and winning any competition.
Yeah,
no, completely. We spoke about this earlier in August, didn't we, Wayne? About winning that League Cup to get you that trajectory to the league type. The
thing is, Alf, is we can sit here as Arsenal fans and say, you know, we've got a strong squad, bar our defence at the moment, but when they're all back, we have. But it's all good saying words, but we have to do it. And I think as a team, these boys need to lift the trophy. It's not the Community Shield, to kind of know what that winning feeling is like. And we can go and we can win stuff. We can do it together. And it's vitally important, boy. Thanks for joining. Thanks for your question. Keep them coming as well, mate.
You know what? Don't be surprised if he goes strong tomorrow. I'm talking Declan Rice, Subamendi, Saka, Martinelli, even Gyökeres. Don't be surprised. I would not be surprised if he pulls out.
As you will see, to not spoil it, Tone, I've gone a little bit. But yeah, I know what you're saying, 100%. And what it is, though, mate, it's rotation for me, boys. You know,
we've got the squad.
We've got the squad. I'm worried. That's the thing, boys. I'm worried in terms of the rotation. If I would not be worried in one jot if we had like Mosquera and White fit. I would not be worried, but we haven't. So it doesn't worry you when you're going to go, look, we got Reliance Saliba. He might put Rice in, Subamendi in. You might put Saka in. It just worries me, Tone. You know.
Yeah, 100%. We've all been saying you can do it if you're confident to do it. Go and show it. Yeah. Manager, mate. Motivational speech.
No good talking.
Yeah, we go. See, listen, he chip off the old block, but but yeah, no, I'm only joking. Sorry, but no, Alf, 100%, mate. It is that, you know, you can. It's all well and good having a squad, but you have to have that to back it up. And you have to, boys, listen to this scenario, and I'd pass it back to Dave to have you say as well, mate.
Yeah.
Put this scenario to yourselves. Arsenal go out tomorrow. What is going to be the banter?
Yeah,
that you're going to get.
Bottle. Yeah, no cup.
Bottle
again,
job,
no
another trophy done for the Arsenal to not. You know what I mean? I know it's the League Cup. I know it's priority number 4, but a cup, as Alpha said, and what we've said, this is what I'm saying. Everyone on the outside have got. I think you have to use this as a stepping stone, in all due respect, and win it, and then you can build that winning feeling. Do you agree with that, mate?
Yeah, I think but the thing is, though, as well, in the cup at the moment, there still is all the big sides in it. So
exactly, mate.
It's who's going to hit it at the right time. Who's going to get lucky with fixtures? Like in the semi-final, I think Champions League starts back up in February, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so, bud. Yeah.
So and then that's when the semi-final gets played.
Yeah.
So obviously we break through against Palace. We play Chelsea. Now Chelsea are sitting about 8th in the league, in the Champions League. So obviously they're not safe in going through. So they're going to have to give it some welly in the Champions League to qualify for the next stages. Obviously we're through. Yeah. We're through. So that might be a game to look at because, okay, in or away. Really, are we worried, boys? We might as well take all the youngsters there and get pummeled about 3-0 and just say, well, it's the youngsters. We've got that. We've spoke about it before. We've got that new team in the last game and the last thing to win, to come first, second or third. In first, second or third, it ain't going to really matter, is it?
Well, it didn't matter last year, did it? We finished
second.
Look what
we
still got Real Madrid.
Exactly, Tone.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that, Dave. I mean, that's the thing, is 100%, mate. What they said as well, Tone, and someone said, listen, this is from, I'm not going to quote a name. It's not what I do on here, because when I'm flicking through Twitter, it's always about, or X or whatever you want to call it. It's always about flicking through about the Arsenal, you know, anything. Sometimes guys might say a thing, you know, and this is why I share it online, or we make a discussion point with it. Someone said, lose to Palace because we don't want to play against Chelsea. And I think to myself, listen, you know,
Why?
it's a
Why
competition.
don't we
Exactly.
want to play against Chelsea?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, listen,
We
mate.
can
I
beat
mean, what they're
Chelsea.
saying is they're saying it's a grueling sort of like game to play again.
2 legs, it'll be over
But
2
it's
legs.
2
as well,
legs.
won't it?
It's 2 legs.
Second leg's at our place though, so that gives us slight
That is
advantage.
brilliant. No, that's a good shout, Dave. Yeah, I think we need to go to theirs first, mate. Definitely.
Well, we've got to break through Palace first, obviously. Touching
But
wood,
listen, in
not,
all due
not
respect,
taking.
any Palace fan, 100%.
No,
Listen,
definitely no disrespect. There.
Palace,
We've got to
I do.
break
In all
through.
due respect to Palace, Dave. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, but it's favourable again. Look, you know, Crystal Palace have got to be. You've got to be wary of them, and let's be
Oh,
respectful
mate,
of
they're
them as well.
dangerous. They're dangerous.
Because
If
they
Mateta
won
and
the FA Cup. You know,
if them boys, all the top boys start, then they're going to be a little bit slippery. Ain't
so I mean that in all due respect, yeah. Let's not forget the opponents we got tomorrow, and I think you know, they've had a tough one, though, boys, haven't they? As Tony, as you said, you know, 6
No, they
days,
have.
3
Their
games in
run
6
ain't
days.
been. Their
Yeah,
run
they've
ain't been easy. Their last.
and I wouldn't say they've got the squad to cope
No,
with that.
that's the problem.
You know, that's the
the problem.
difference. So
This was an actual push as well, boys, because obviously you've got Christmas Eve. You're not going to play a game on Christmas Eve. You know, Boxing Day they've restricted it. I think there's only one Premier League game on Boxing Day.
Yeah,
So obviously they've had to squeeze it, and we've you know, it's been moved. We've played as well Saturday at 8, but they played Thursday. When did they play, boys? They played Saturday as well, did they, or Sunday?
Palace played. Who did they play? I think they played Saturday. Yeah.
They played Saturday evening like us.
yeah,
And then played.
they lost at home to Leeds, didn't they? They lost at home to Leeds as well, so they're in a bit of shitty form themselves.
Yeah.
So I feel that I think I fancy us tomorrow, even with a makeshift team.
The attack tone.
Sorry if I'm being stupid. Is it home or away for us tomorrow? Sorry,
home.
guys.
Oh, it's home, mate.
I like
at the Emirates.
A bit more of advantage. I didn't actually know where that was.
Yeah, no, it's the advantage. Yeah, thanks again, mate. You should get it till as to what Charles was saying about that. That's when we get to that, you'll see the team. But we agree with that. Give it 60 minutes and see. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Well, let's stop everyone from waiting. Let's get into
they're
it.
all excited.
There we go.
Rum.
All right, into the predicted 11. Do you know what? MLS does come in for me. I would, however, though, I would pay Calafiori left side centre half for giving Capia a break, just because I feel like he's going to be coming into the fold, right, for Brighton at home. That's not an easy game, and you want him quite fresh. I agree with Rice not playing tomorrow. Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Norgard should. Yeah, I do think that he's gonna look at putting Norgard at centre half. And Joe, what, he did a bad job. But I mean, it was only Club Brugge, so we can't run away with ourselves there. But the biggest thing for me, Wayne. Sorry, Dave. Well,
sorry,
this lineup, right? And I want to see this is Wanyeri through the middle.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I'm saying. You know, that's why I took a little bit of a time today to get that to your tone, because just to think of a way, because I was thinking to myself, look, you know, there's Martinelli as well who didn't start. So listen, this lineup here for anyone watching and both of you guys is that it's not against Martinelli. All I was thinking of is that, you know, give 60 minutes to Zubi, and if you have to say put on, I mean, Timber, unless he's going to chance Nichols, Timber unfortunately has to play, but he also has to be rotated out of this game after whatever, depends how the game state is. You know what I mean? That's why I said to you, Tone. I said to both of you, it's a tough one for me tonight. But I think on the right hand side of that defence, if I'm going to want to rest someone, either way. Can Norgard play at right back? If he can, then you put Saliba in 60 minutes. Maybe give Timber the last 30, swap him over. Unless you're going to chance it on, like, give Salmon and Nichols a chance. You know, it's just a tough one at the start. Other than that, I think obviously, you know, you have to have someone in the midfield. Get Moreno as a little bit in the Rice role, and I want to see Wanyeri, Eza, and Madueke, 3 English boys in that attack. That's what I'd like to see.
Charles has said that we're going to free Kobe Mane.
I think Chelsea. I think he's going to Chelsea, isn't he?
I think he wasted at Chelsea. They've got too many midfielders. I'd take him as a backup.
Charles, listen, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. And boys, I'm going to sit here and say now, I heard rumours that we were sniffing around him. And this has been going since he broke into the Man United squad. For whatever reason, Amorim, which I think he's a bit of a clown anyway, personally, he'd be pissing me off if he was my manager of my football club. But Kobe Manu, sorry, however you want to pronounce that his name, I think if you, what it is, Charles, I think the club are looking at that Bouadi. I think he's from Olympic Lyon. He might have signed a new deal, but this kid is 18, 19, and he is highly, highly rated. But they're saying it could be 45 million. Do we kind of go, look, this kid's for the future? We're gonna, do what we did with like a Subamendi going on January, say we're gonna get you in, but we'll get you in the summer. Do you look at Kobe Manu? In my opinion, Dave and Tony, also, I know you boys agree with me. I think we should kind of try to reinforce that central midfield again. I think we're missing one player.
Yeah,
in terms of, you look at it now, if you had a Norgard in your playing centre, you could rest Subamendi, because Subamendi and Rice are vital to our season, boys, especially in the middle of the park. What's the harm? But there is rumours about after this Bouadi from Lyon. But I to cut it long short and move along, I would take Manu if the option was there and see what he could do.
Was he play left 8 for us then? Would he?
I think this is it, mate. I mean, I think he can
deep
also
line player. He's deep line midfielder.
Rotational player. He ain't a starter then, would you say?
Yeah, no, I think he'd accept that. I think he's coming into a side like Arsenal. I think he wouldn't mind playing.
Champions League football. You're offering him that.
Yeah, as well, listen. However you want to swing it. I mean, listen, we're looking from it. We've been there, by the way. We've been where Man United are.
Yeah,
we're now a team that are looking. Anyone we sniff around anyone in all due respect. You look at Semenyo. There's more than likely people sniffing that need him. Like Liverpool have just lost Isaac. Isaac's apparently broken his leg.
I think terms agreed with Liverpool already. Actually,
so he's more than likely he's looking at. But if they're coming in, all right, I'll sign for them. But look at Eza. Again, in all due respect to Tottenham, we have got that rivalry, a very heated rivalry. But he was waiting out because he was an Arsenal fan, wanted to come. These players, Kobe Manu. If Arteta, he's got a whiff of it, and his agent said, by the way, Arsenal have just inquired about you. Like Tony said, Dave, I think you have to go, well, I can come on. We need a
midfielder. He fits the profile. He ain't going to be on megabucks, and he'd be happy to sit in rotation. Champions.
This is it.
Really, it's a win-win for everyone, isn't it? Really, when you think about it.
What I'd say is that there's a few people as well on Twitter, boys, that scout these players, and that's Bouadi from Lyon. I can't sit here and say that I've scouted. I'm a busy man. I ain't got a lot of time. I'm always tired. Some of these guys scout these players. He is highly, highly rated.
Yeah,
but I can't say on a personal level. I know I've seen Kobe Manu, and I think that I do not understand why that boy's not playing for Man United. That's my opinion. The same with Bouadi. I've not got a clue because I've not seen a boy play. If I see him play over a certain amount of time, but he's highly, highly rated.
Yeah, Bouadi's a 6. And he does is he breaks up play and he's press resistant. This is what the scout reports have said and what Arsenal.
Yeah, that's it, dude. Yeah, that's the same thing I've heard.
Yeah, basically he's press resistant. He's got a good vertical pass, they called it. So basically he can knock it 40 yards over to the other side of the pitch. And he also can play little short interlinking passes. So
the sound of him, Dave.
Do it in the Premier League.
I think I've seen maybe one video, and maybe what I'll do is in terms of this, me and Tony will, obviously once we get Christmas out of the way, we'll have a look at certain stuff like that, and I'll do a little bit of scanning, and we can do a video about potential.
Yeah, we'll be doing some stuff on the January
transfer. We'll do that as well, and I'll have a look, Tone, before we come on, and I'll have a little thing. But I like the look of him. What I'm saying is if you. Because people are sniffing around this boy, and all the scouts are saying Arsenal need to kick this guy if they're interested.
Madrid are looking at him big time.
And Madrid are looking exactly, Dave. So if we're going to do anything, I say that's the priority. But Charles, thanks for the question. I do like Manu, but I think if if this Bouadi, is he going to be ready at this level, or do we do what we did with Subamendi, agree a deal, do him in the summer, and see if Kobe Manu can do a job? We need someone extra. The point is, we need another midfielder, boys. Defensively, you look at as well, lads. a potential right back, someone to cover, because Timber needs to have a break.
Do you think so? On that very good segue, Wayne, onto the right back.
Yeah,
Someone
go on,
said to me the other day, it was like, I think Ben White's finished now. I think we just yeah, I know. I was like, oh, very, very interesting. It's like, well, look at him. He's guy's made of glass. How many injuries has he had for us?
Yeah,
He's a good player, but at what point do you go, right, let's move on to the next one, right? Because Timber's gonna pick up an injury again at some point, right? Touch wood that he's going really strong, but he's had a really crucial injury. His first game for us. Was it last season or the season before?
Yeah.
Right. That's an ACL is not a good injury to have, right? And it causes other issues, right? So he's not going to be 100% fit. So we need someone that's firing at right back as well. We need like another Tomiyasu type player that's not as injury prone. I think that can step in and do a role. But he was a good player when he got
was a good player,
I'll tell you
he
what,
was never on the pitch either, was he? That's the problem.
Yeah, I'll tell you what has been rumoured, boys. And one thing as well, Tone, I want to back you up on what you're saying. With Benny White, I mean this tongue in cheek, but slightly serious, is that you've got Tomiyasu to blame for Benny White. Tomiyasu getting injured meant Benny White had to play through multiple injuries. He was injured, boys. He was constantly, but that boy would just strap himself up, get a spray. He played injured for ages because we didn't have another right back. Benny White's given his body for this football club, basically, and he's fucked. So there's been a bit of do you know that Coyote from, I think it's from Brentford?
Yes, the one with the long throat.
Oh yeah, people
him all day long. He's a player.
Yeah, they spoke about him, Tone, and if it's potential, and if sorry, Charles, we will get to that that point if Tony flags that up. Sorry, but yeah, Coyote, they've also spoke about that. And listen, I don't want to because I love the geezer, but his body could be made of glass. Tone, you're right.
I think he's going to be another one of them Tomiyasu situations where I think we just see his contract out and either move him on or just let him leave.
As I say, he's literally given his body to him. And the thing is with the lad as well, and he's in the background with him as well. He doesn't really. You look at him; he doesn't give a crap about football outside of playing it. His thing is, I turn up, I play football, I do it as manager tells me. And I switch. Once I leave that, I switch off. Other people are more. Benny White is one. He just says football's a hobby. Football's my work. It's not his hobby. He doesn't love football. He plays it.
I find that really strange to know that.
That's why he didn't like England and all that, wasn't it? Him and Carl Walker
he's funny in that sense.
About something.
Yeah, he had an argument, didn't he, with Steve Holland or whatever.
Yeah, the Chelsea geezer as well, didn't he? Yeah.
So. But he's just one of them. I listen, I don't want it to, but again, also as well, in plan, literally what Arteta's going, here he's going to play again and plan. This is the problem. Benny White is a valuable player for this football club, but if there's a time where you're going, all right, we're stretched here now, so I'm going to play Timber because we didn't have Saliba, did we, and Mosquera, right? So he's gone, right, I'm playing Timber and I'm going White. White was playing 3 90s in a row, Tone. And you can't expect this geezer to go again in the fourth. You needed that rotation. It's quite obvious that with Josh Nichols, he's not trusted so much yet. He might need another. He might need a loan.
Why not throw him in for this game? Do you know what I mean?
Why not do a formation change? Well,
Well, you could do that as well, Dave. Yeah,
go to 3 at the back with wing backs. Play the midfield into suit that, and you'd use Miles Lewis-Skelly as your left wing back, Mudweki as your right wing back. You got your players up front. Jesus, quite confident. Moreno can play more up front, can't he? So you basically you're covering the areas that we're short in, because now you'd have Nkappi left, you'd obviously have Saliba right, and then you could have Norgard sitting in the centre and give Timber a rest, and then vice versa, rotate them back through. I just don't see why he's set on this formation all the time.
Yeah. It's a good point.
And you're right, he will play this formation. You are right. It's definitely going to be the way he lines up. But why does he not change?
Because they train to be defensively solid in this formation, don't they? That's why he won't. I agree. I've even floated the idea of a 4-4-2, having the 2 strikers, because I think that
as I said,
more out of your
plan B. You need a plan B.
Low against low block, boys. As I said to you as well, I believe I believe Gyökeres is more so suited for it because you've Jesus likes to float, and so does Havertz. Havertz wins headers all day long. Gyökeres doesn't. Gyökeres should be the man taking the flick-ons and being in the box while you've got Havertz creating havoc. And I think that if he didn't get injured, I thought that would you'd also see that. That game against Wolves, in my opinion, doesn't always happen. You could have a Havertz, Eze on the left, Saka. There's different ways he can play. I think he's not had them tools, you know. Listen, Tone, and well, Dave, I agree with you because it's for me, it's a massive worry to have even Saliba or Timber part of this game because I think obviously it's more important at the moment for the for the Premier League. But we want to win it in all due respect, but we just haven't got the personnel right now to do and effectively rotating the defence. Attack wise, I think if you look at that team, in my opinion, whether you boys agree or not,
Good enough.
It's good enough, isn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's for me. It's that
it's
Moreno
got goals
should.
In it. Eze, Nawari, and Madweki, they can get a goal from outside the box. They can do a little bit of link up play on the outside.
And as you said, Dave, you look when Havertz comes back, and you're like, Jesus. You're gonna have 3 strikers. You've got 2 players, Havertz and Jesus, on 275k, a week. But I think it's going to be vitally important that the change in there. But I still believe, listen, I don't want to be controversial. I believe we should have moved on from him. But having Partey to be available to play right back helped. Norgard, can slot in. I knew he could slot in, but we need a midfielder that can cover and central midfield as well as right back, if needed. And I think that's another plan.
I bet you any money you can play right back, Norgard.
Listen, if it comes to it, Dave,
play right back for Denmark.
I would be surprised if he played there before. And he's
listen, Dave, I think this right back in the Euros or something like that. I swear.
Listen, mate, if he's more than capable to do that, then that's what needs to. I think that Mikel has to do. And then, as I say, you give Saliba or Timber the 60 minutes and one the 30 minutes, and you take them off, and you see what's going. We can't risk. Declan Rice as well. Like, as I say, in my lineup here, boys, I put Subamendi. Subamendi's played a lot of football as well, but so's Declan Rice. So, excuse me, sorry. So because of this right back situation, and with Mosquera and White being out, you've got to rotate efficiently, and he's got to find that because you can't run these guys, on the red, boys.
Go on, man, I'll let you answer that, mate.
Yeah, no, this is why it took so long. The problem is the sort of like the players we have, Charles. Really, do you go to put Declan Rice again with Subamendi, and if it's working, they have got some dangerous players. This is why, in all due respect,
well, they play Bolton in the midfield.
He's a quality player. He's a quality player. Listen, this is the thing, Charles. But this is again comes back to that. I still thought. Listen, we signed 8 players, boys. Yeah, we have to realise that this was unprecedented. Me and Tony were discussing, Dave, prior to you coming to the channel, and I'm pretty sure you'd agree with us that was we hadn't seen that before in our time as Arsenal fans. It was a good
window.
We needed it because we lost like 5 players, didn't we? 5, 6 players. But I still believe we should have got another sort of midfielder in. There's another guy from Sevilla or Valencia. I don't know if it's a Spanish kiddie. In the mould, sort of like in midfield, like Mosquera is, in terms of highly rated. And I felt we should have got something else in as well, boys, as well as Norgard. So I get you, Charles. This is the problem, mate. It's just how to effectively rotate in midfield. Moreno needs to have a free role, and this is where you need another midfielder because Moreno, for me, is not strong enough in midfield, and I agree with you, Charles. This is my problem. I get what you're saying, mate.
He's not mobile enough, is he?
Yeah, he's not mobile enough, Charles, and that is the problem. I get what you're saying. We seem to be whenever he's on the midfield, boys. It's like he's not strong enough there.
He loses the ball too easy.
Yeah.
So
if he's in a false 9 or a number 10, Dave, he's good. But you're right, mate.
He's got to play more up the top. Yeah. Where he can't.
Me and Tony have said that, so we have said it. You're right. It is a risk, and I think obviously you have to respect the fact that Palace can hit you on the account that they're no mugs. Whether they play, this is their 3rd game in 6.
their midfield ain't full of legs though. If you catch my drift. So as you say, like Walton is not super quick. They got used. The guy's coming to the end of his career. Obviously they've got a couple of other players, but I'm sure they lost a couple to the African Cup of Nations. Kamada, the Japanese guy.
Yeah.
He's a pretty technical, nifty little player. Other than that, who else they got in midfield with legs? Like who's going to burst through and sort of open us up through the midfield?
Yeah.
No, so Moreno, it might be a job for Moreno this time because they ain't got that athleticism.
It's vitally important, Dave, as well. And this is why, as I say, whether you play Rice sitting or Zubimendi, or you put Norgard in, who's more than capable of shielding as a single six. He's done it for Brentford. Excuse me, guys, sorry. And you put Saliba and Timber, and you look to rotate, so you don't start Rice or Zubi. It's open to interpretation, really, and I get that. It comes to that point, and to keep on repeating myself, that I still believe we should have. I thought with Norgard, good, solid Premier League player, boys, bringing that up and coming player to learn alongside Rice, Zubimendi, because for me, Moreno isn't strong enough in the midfield at times. For me, he's got to improve, and he's a 27, 28-year-old player. If he's not proving it now, the only place you've got for him is a 10 or a false 9, boys, isn't you?
So a question for you boys, I want to discuss it, is you put him in your predicted 11. Wanyeri. Now,
well done, son. Yeah, we've got to discuss him, mate. Yeah.
If he doesn't start this game, do you think that's him being told that his minutes are going to be very limited to the point where he should consider going out on loan in January?
Listen, I want to get Dave, please. I'll give you the fault, but Tone, I put Wanyeri because that's a personal thing, and you'll agree with me, which I know you did.
Yeah.
Off air, and you'll agree with me now. He will more than likely go with Gabby Jesus, Martinelli, Eza, and Madueke. I want to see MLS and Wanyeri play these games, boys. And you're right, Tone. Listen, it's tough on the lad, and like Dave said, and Ben, who was on the other day as well with us, and it'll be joining us sort of like after Christmas time. Again, they were saying it, and I was agreeing with them in that sense, and I agree with the front. He deserves to be playing, but we've got so many options now. Where do you fit him in? But I think if you're going to do something, give him a chance. Do you know what I mean? And as I said to you, Tone, and prior to it as well, and Dave will have seen the videos anyway, I don't think 1 year he took the chance when Ødegaard was out, or he didn't impress him enough, and he didn't do it last season either. The boy's got a lot of learning to do, a lot of building his body up, but he's got a fantastic future. But what you're saying, Tone, I agree with, mate, and I want to pass it to you, Dave. But I think if he doesn't start him, you could be sending a message out, Tone, definitely, mate.
Yeah.
I like Wanyeri. Listen, where we did break in at the start of when he first got in the team, he was putting up some numbers. He was hitting goals. He was doing bits and pieces. As the time went on and as the players kept on dropping, we was relying on him more and more and more. And obviously, that's not the boy's fault. That was his first sort of games. So obviously, we was asking a bit too much of him. We was relying on him a bit too much. That's why, obviously, going off the point just slightly, that I wouldn't put Dalman in too much this season because obviously he is even younger. But let's keep to Nawari. Nawari, definitely, if he doesn't play these games, then what games does he play? Yeah. Okay, you might play FA Cup third round against Grimsby or something. And then as soon as we move up and we start playing, like, i.e. Middlesbrough or away or something like that, he might still get in. But then as soon as we play a Premier League side and we're quarterfinals, he ain't going to get in the team again, is he? So, to me, as I said, listen, it's nothing against Wanyeri. I wouldn't sell Wanyeri. I was thinking about the conversation that me and Ben and you guys had the other night. And I was thinking, was I being a bit harsh on him? Like saying, we'll just loan him out to Coventry. Like it was a punishment. Like it sounded like, send him to Coventry. I think
you upset Ben that night.
But the thing about it is that the point of the matter is that look what happened to Saliba when we loaned him back to Marseille. He come back and he was 10 times the player. Now, if we don't loan him to Coventry, there'll be someone abroad like a Spanish team where he's going to get a little bit more technical and he's going to learn a bit more stuff on the ball because he's going to have a little bit more time on the ball. So this might even improve him again, sending him to like a Seville or a Villarreal or someone like that. Obviously, not Atletico Madrid, because they're too like bomb bomb bomb. They're the dark arts, aren't they? But someone silky in La Liga would be ideal. And I reckon 6 months for him to go in January for 6 months. I reckon that would do him the world of good. And that'll even do us better when he comes back, and then he'll be ready to start breaking into the team. Because Odegaard is finished. I'm almost certain that Odegaard's finished in this side. That's so. He can be the future. He can be the future if he keeps on improving.
Yeah, I like him. I like him because what I like about him is he goes both sides. He don't stick to one wing.
Exactly, time.
What Odegaard does, and he sort of stretches defenses in a really good way. But when you watch him live, you see what he does. He gets the ball, and he has that bit of Fabregas about him. Whereas Fabregas would always find that little bit of space to spin and then run at defenders. He's got that same aura about him in terms of, he's not a tall bloke, is he, Branier? He's quite small, so low centre of gravity, and he's got the potential to be such a good player, but it's no good if he's on the bench every week, is he? He's not going to develop. So I still to this point want to know what was said to him in the contract talks, because if Arteta said to him, "You're going to get game time," it's a bit out of order, really, and you can see that he's a little bit frustrated, because when he comes on, I don't know if you've noticed this, he'll get the ball and he will try and do too much. Does that make sense?
Of course, it is.
Whenever I've seen him this season, he'll overrun the ball a lot, and I think that's him trying to prove himself. But yeah, I think tomorrow he needs to start. He needs to get at least 60, 70 minutes.
One thing as well I want to add to that, Tone, I've said it in the past, and again, as much as he's not, in my opinion, a defensively solid player, Odegaard is starting to come to fruition now that he's not good enough as a number 10. 1 year he can be the future there with an Eza, with whatever. I think we're evolving from it, and I think Odegaard's got to find his space, and that's as a number 8, not a number 10. And 1 year he deserves to get more chance. If he's not going to get a chance, then you need to kind of look. He needs a loan, because his boys can be the future.
Welcome to the channel, Retro.
Welcome to the channel. Thank you for commenting, matey. Yes, I'll read that out, Tone. I'll let you and Dave comment on this, matey. Yeah, he's going to become another Emil, Eddie, or Balogun on loan, and proving yourself to me. Yeah, for means nothing to Arsenal in a low block every week. No chance. The other teams around you are facing that. Yeah, another thing. That's it, mate. It is. You know what? Tony will back me up here, because he's got the evidence, and we had it in our chat. I wanted Balogun over Eddie.
Yeah,
I wanted us to give Balogun a chance more so than Eddie. And you're right, mate. This is the problem. We can't allow that to happen. And I think it's like PTSD. And like Dave's alluding to, it's like it's not about sort of not rating a player. It's like, look, we need to find a place for him. Otherwise, this kid's gonna. And look what the worst one, boys, the most recent one, and I think you'll all agree with me. The one we let get away. We put him on loan to Stoke, and Tony Pulis didn't play him. Serge Gnabry.
Yeah, he was one that got away.
He had a set. He's kind of leveled off a bit now. He had 2 or 3 seasons where he was at the top of his game, and you're thinking to yourself,
the German guy, the German.
Yeah, the winger,
Serge Gnabry, and we sent him on loan to Stoke, I believe, to the worst possible play to play under Tony Pulis. I mean, come on. And he's kind of he just reset his career. I don't know if it was Dortmund or something like that, and then no, I think it was Werder Bremen or Schalke, one of them, and we sold them to them for cheap, and Bayern, right, the cheeky buggers. So we've gone and got him for cheap, and they've gone into Schalke, so they could have come to us and we could have sold him for a higher price, but they've gone and done a deal with him because I think, and they just nicked him, and 2-3 seasons he was top of the game. He was a phenomenal winger. And, we can't have that with Wanyeri. He can play number 10. He can also play as a false 9. He can also play as a right winger, as he's shown, and this is what I will say, and I'm blue in the face. Odegaard's got to find his role deeper in that midfield.
The only thing I'd say on that last previous comment is that, yeah, you was right with the names that you mentioned, with Eddie and with Balogun and all that. Because even though you wanted Balogun, since Balogun got his move, he ain't actually done much at all.
He's
ain't
not
really
done
heard
nothing,
of him.
Dave. No,
But that
not at all.
doesn't mean to say that he couldn't have done something for us, because he was on fire for a little while.
Yeah.
But the guy he didn't mention was Saliba. Saliba went on loan and he come back a much better player. So it can work in the other way, boys. Don't think that just because you have like you're unsuccessful in certain times of it, but then there's other times where it does work and it helps the player and it helps the club. And also, we got a bloody good fee for Balogun. You know, we got good money for Eddie. And we got
also
money
Eddie.
for
I'm moaning about
these loans. And listen, if he ain't going to break it in, then we're going to have to sell him. So why not get maximum fee for him? People might not like it that you've got to sell Ranieri. As I've said to you before, we don't know what PSR rules are going to be about. So you don't know, selling one of these academy boys, we may have to balance the books in the next.
I think if Odegaard doesn't do it this season, then you look to bring in Ranieri and Eze as your first team number 10.
Your first ones.
Tony, he has to. I've said as well. I mean, listen, Fabregas was on another level. I mean, he ended up wanting to go back to Barcelona. It didn't work for him, and then he decided to come back to the Premier League and win a Premier League with Mourinho and Chelsea, which kind of stung and stunted. He's standing among the Arsenal fans. You know, if it stayed at Barcelona, we would have been fine. He's gone to Chelsea. It's a little bit, but I want to look at it on a level head. He's not as bad as Van Persie for me, but why I'm bringing that up is that Odegaard, the way he plays is for me a number 8. And I've said it before, like Tony has said, and you said it, Dave. But listen, Eze can be a box crashing number 10. He can come off for the left. I mean, and I want to see tomorrow. That's why I've chosen that, boys. I want to see Ranieri floating. I want to see Eze drifting in from the left, and I want to see Madueke, causing havoc. Let's see it, boys. This might not happen because this is Mikel. You can't guess his team, but I think that'll be phenomenal. And Tone, I agree with you, mate. And he has to. Someone said it on X, and I had to agree with him. I gave him a like, and I said, "Listen, that's right. Odegaard's got to find it. In my opinion, he's spacing in a left 8 role." Or right 8 role, whatever you want to put him as, he's not a number 10, in my opinion. He has to start dropping.
That solves our midfield problem. If we put him back,
exactly,
Dave. Midfield. We don't have to 100%, do we?
100%, mate.
Well, you can rotate him with Rice in any games.
I think he'd be a better left 8 than Moreno tomorrow, boys. A left 8 with a...
I would. I'd play Odegaard left 8 over Moreno, definitely.
What's the harm trying
it? Dave, I agree with that. And this is, if that happens, I'd like him, whether he's going to do it. But maybe Mikel's being too sort of stubborn as well, boys. And this is what I'm saying.
You've got to try a few new things.
Yeah, and I've been saying it from the summer, mate. And when we started this pod, and I've been saying it to you, I've said it multiple times, that I just see Odegaard, boys, I apologise. I see him as a left 8. And I think that's where his role should be. If he's going to stay in this football club, he needs to adapt to a left 8 role, and you need to dovetail with Rice and Subamendi, and there's your rotational option. Get a player. Norgard's 31. He's there as a stopgap. Go bring in that Buedi. If you can't get him, you might look Kobe Mainoo's more left side anyway. You could, but I'm talking about the future where you've got an 18, 19-year-old kiddie learning under a Rice or Subamendi, and he's ready to come in at any time, and that's what I wanted. He's got to start if he's going to have a career at Arsenal, in my opinion, for going forward. Eze and Ranieri, as Tony's just said, to not step on your point, mate.
Yeah,
number 10.
No, you're right. Tony, you was right there, mate. It's
100% right, Bones.
I also think Odegaard's holding back Gyökeres as well, because the way he plays and how deep he goes.
Tone, look at that ball. Sorry, mate. Look at that ball. That was way too late, mate.
If you're a top number 10. When he's he's got one pass to play Gyökeres through on goal, when he plays it too far in front of him.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there going, what you got to look at, right? Does Eze fuck that up? Does Ranieri fuck that up?
Look at Saliba. Look at the ball we put through to Gyökeres.
Thank you, Dave. Saliba's a centre half, boys.
Beauty of a pass. Sorry to interrupt.
That's his bread and butter.
100% right, Dave. Why is our centre half playing a better ball and doing a better thing than who's supposedly our number 10? Listen, We're not a channel. We
Yeah,
haven't
we're not,
ever said
I know. I feel like I'm shitting on Odegaard, right? But at the
we're
moment,
not
I feel
shitting on
like
Odegaard. Tone, you're
I'm
not.
trying to go for a
He's not playing
title,
well,
and
Tone.
You're not,
he's
Tone.
playing
You're
well.
not.
We've got to tell the truth.
he's
mate.
slowing.
You're not shitting on him, dude. You really
got
Do you know
to
are.
what
tell
it
the
is?
truth,
Do
mate.
you know what it is, right? The Tottenham game was a really good example, right, of how good we can be in free flowing with Eze in that role.
100%.
Right, floating number 10. And when Yeri and Eze, I'd say, are very similar in terms of how they what's the word? How they operate in them areas. Odegaard is still a player that can do a job for us, but just not in that position.
Tone, can I also want to say to you boys as well is look how many goals a few goals last season when 1 year we bent it in. When was the last time you saw Odegaard do that?
A long time ago. A couple of seasons now, isn't it?
For me, listen, you've got to realise, and we've said it before on the stream, Odegaard he's general, he's leader of the press. He's my captain, he's my voice on the pitch. You know, Xhaka was his voice on the pitch. Xhaka went, and then Odegaard.
As the game's changed now, though, boys.
It has changed. It has.
That press,
he needs to adapt.
Listen, people are just going long now, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's like they're bypassing the press.
Do you know what?
That's why we're struggling up front because we're not nicking it
higher
up the pitch like what we was doing last season.
And to add to that, Dave, and you're right. Odegaard, as I said to you, like with Zubimendi, Odegaard is your player that picks the balls, picks the passes. He can dictate. You know, you don't need two players dictating. You need an Eze.
Zubimendi's a better passer of a ball than him.
Yeah. And sorry, Tone, you were saying, mate. I just wanted to say
I had a thought, right? I had a thought. The way the Premier League's going, right? Let me know in the comments, a few people watching, how you feel about what I'm about to say. I feel like a lot of top strikers aren't going to come to the Premier League because you don't get no space. And I feel like every season it's going more into a low block, into. Of
course it is, mate.
You know, and there's no space. Like you're not going to get. You know, Isaac is struggling. I know he's injured now, but he's struggled at Liverpool because the top teams now that are at the top end of the table, any team they go and play are just going to sit in with a low block. There's just no space to operate. Your career is fine now. You're going back to strikers like Alan Shearer now that will literally will score a goal. More of their goals will come from their head than their foot, right?
Yeah.
And I think we're going into that era now where the technical strikers, like the floating number 9s. Jesus gets more joy than Gyökeres in this Arsenal team because he's dropping in, but it doesn't necessarily mean to say he's going to score.
Exactly, dude.
Go on, Dave. Do you just comment out?
Yeah,
go on, Dave.
Yeah, I think we're better off without playing Rice and Zubimendi together, said on other streams. But the thing I think we should play Eze and Odegaard in midfield and have Norgard as backup centre half. The only thing you'd say to that is that he lost his runner against was it against Aston Villa? Whether or not he's that player to be sort of the kicking people, you know, trying to win the ball back. I'm not quite sure if Arteta will play him there. I think Odegaard definitely, and just for a rotation. But I think this one, definitely. I think he's got to be on the pitch because obviously his previous team he scored against them once this season already, isn't he, Eze? So
I think he will be, but I don't think he'll play him on the left purely because the Aston Villa moment. Now I think he's lost all trust in him to do that defensive work. I think Martinelli will be in this team. I think Wayne's White, he said earlier, that he'd love to have Wanyeri in there. But I just think he's going to have Eze at number 10, Martinelli on the left, or even Trossard. It all depends how badly he wants to get the result. Madueke on the right. Although, don't be surprised if Saka starts this game. And Jesus,
I think that'd be the wrong one, Tone. But I know where you're coming from, mate. I think it
wouldn't surprise me if he does play.
You know why? Because it's the pressure that he's under to get a trophy through the door, right? Yeah. And this is the first cup that we've got an opportunity to win something. And as I said, we do need to. If this is probably the best trophy to win, especially if you're going in a title challenge, because if you got over the line in one trophy, it's going to give you that boost to go and get the next one. So this is quite an important game for us.
The final with World Bones comes, doesn't it? Mid-season before, so like end of Feb, is it?
February, March? Which sets you up for your next batch of fixtures going into March, April, and May. I just think that we need to. If we don't win tomorrow, I generally think there's going to be a meltdown. If we get knocked out tomorrow, there's going to be a meltdown. Even though it's a League Cup, I think there's the PTSD just sitting there on every Arsenal fan at the moment. They're waiting. It's just going to kick in tomorrow if we get knocked out by Crystal Palace. We could have a really good 5 days, or we could have a really poor 5 days. So it's going to be interesting, right? The Christmas period is the worst because it always gives you that insight to what your season's going to look like. And we've got some tough games coming up, but Arteta's got to manage the squad and he's got to make big decisions. And I'm not shitting all over Odegaard. I just don't think he's on number 10 anymore. I really don't. I think the way the Premier League's gone tactically, you don't have that space now to operate where we used to batter teams down that right hand side. Saka's even losing that ability now to go on his left and have a shot. How many players around him when Odegaard plays?
Yep.
It's so easy to play against us.
Another thing I wanted to add to your point, Tony. Sorry to interrupt there, mate, but like obviously, like you boys have said about Ez's sort of like losing his marker in the Aston Villa game. Madueke come on. I think as well as that trust. I think that's why we didn't see him. Someone was saying, I think the trust at the moment in terms of them. And I know obviously what you're saying, we've left, and obviously I know I've put in my thing. I put Eza. I get obviously what you're saying. I just think his bias is when he plays in at number 10, he can play a false role brilliantly. If you wanted to play the Odegaard style thing, I think that's more suited to Wanyeri because that's why Wanyeri was playing on the right when Saka was injured, and then he was, because Wanyeri can do that. I think that's more naturally suited to a guy that's coming in like a Saka and Wanyeri. He keeps doing it with Odegaard, and again, I think he needs to drop back deeper. But what I keep saying with Eza is Eza was always from the left-hand side. If he's asking him to play an Odegaard type role from the right-hand side, Eza can't do that. Eza don't do that, boys. He's always come from the left, whether he plays on the left or play on his, I still believe, and I know you boys, I know Tony, you said as well, I still believe, like, you see Trossard, he works hard, he gets the goals.
Start singing then.
Yeah, sorry, not yet. No, I've not had that many, But I think that he can be as effective as like playing a Trossard there because you could see he prefers Trossard. He wants Martinelli to be a finisher. He wants Trossard to start. Eza has got to work like we've been saying with Gyökeres, meet 50-50. Yeah. Eza's got to meet 50-50 time.
Yeah.
And that number 10 role as well, you can play an Eza there. In the left as well. You can play a Wanyeri in the 10. You can make it happen. If he's going to play from the 10, Arteta's got to make sure that boy's playing it from the left-hand side and not interpreting the role and asking him to play the role like Odegaard does. Yeah. Because Odegaard and Wanyeri can play better from picking up that ball and cutting in onto the left. That's not Eza's game. And people are going, look at Eza. Oh yeah, look, that let it all work out, and there's people online. Chelsea fans are lumping in, maybe Tottenham fans will as well. It's totally different. What they're missing the point of that. Why, he's an Arsenal boy come to our club, but his form will come better drifting out to the left. He shouldn't be playing and interpreting that role like the Odegaard kind of way. So I think that's why I put him in tonight. Tomorrow, he needs to learn. And he needs to meet us in the middle and meet Arteta's demands as well as playing his game. Because he's going to be he's important like Gyökeres for the second half of the season, but he has to work hard enough. Tony, it was poor against Villa, and I'm pretty sure, and I'm hoping that Arteta's coached that into him to say that was poor, but he can play from the left or interpret that 10 role. Arteta's got to, if he wants him in there, don't interpret it like the Odegaard. That's my opinion, boys. But I get what you're saying. But I think Eza can play for better. He plays better from the left-hand side.
He did for Palace. He was always on the left-hand side.
For Palace, Dave, he's always played from there, mate. No, that's what I'm saying, Tony. That's why I think he's got that bias towards the left-hand side of the pitch. So it's vitally important he's used right, mate.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, let's get your predictions, boys.
I want to go for Dave. I've been waffling for a while. I think I want Dave.
Oh, he bottled that one, Dave, and he's bottled it.
I ain't bottled it yet. No. I've got an idea. Go on, Dave.
I'm going to go for it to end in 90 minutes. We definitely don't need penalties.
No.
I'm going to go 3-1 Arsenal. I went for it last game. It didn't quite work out.
Go on, Dave.
I'm going to go for it again. 3-1 Arsenal.
I've got my idea, Bones, but I want you to go as well because I've had a lot of
Yeah.
talking, mate, and my point on Eze. So I want you to have I want you to go first, mate.
I'm gonna go 2-1. I think that Palace are gonna be up for it. If Mateta plays, he's gonna give off. So if Norgard plays centre half, he's gonna give him an absolute nightmare. So yeah, I'm gonna go 2-1. I think we've got enough attacking threat without Saka, without your careers, without even Marino in there.
Of course we have.
If Marino starts, but we've got enough up there to cause them. Madueke will, I'm hoping, has a great game. Just to throw that curb with Arteta, this whole Saka situation. But yeah, I'm going 2-1. Go on, mate.
I'm veering toward my thought process has been this, boys, and I'm thinking 3-0.
3-0.
Nice.
The reason is I think that we, as I say, someone has pointed out and I don't want to hold the stream up too long, but I think we, attacking wise, I think we can get at Palace. And I think it's going to be one of them nights where you're going to see some great attacking football because the kind of shackles of the Premier League's off. So I think 3-0, boys. Fingers crossed. Let Madueke go. Let Eze loose as well, and let's see.
Cool.
Quick one just to finish, boys.
On,
just a quick one. How good has Ryan Cherky been for Man City in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah,
the guy's both footed. He looks like a bit of a throwback, like a Maverick type footballer.
Yeah,
he looks like a low block beater. That's the guy that looks like.
And
you know what? If
Dave,
Arsene Wenger would have been our manager, we would.
He would have bought him.
And Ekitike, them two players, they would have been.
Ekitike and Ryan Cherky are Arsene Wenger signed. They're Arsene Wenger players. Arsene Wenger signings.
But
he would have been all over them.
What we got.
We've got to stick with
no, you're right. Well done for bringing it up, and I think I agree with that, mate. He's playing well. But he was there for cheap as well, and we didn't.
30 million. 30 million they got.
We should have bit their hands off, boys. But that's another day. That's a video for another day. But well brought up, Dave. I'm with you.
Cool.
Sorry to end on the sour puss note. Cheers, lads.
No, it's a good point.
Fuck off, Dave.
Bearer of bad news.
Well, look, quarterfinals tomorrow. Let's get the win, get in the semis. That'd be good for morale boost for the.
We need it.
Great. Smash a like on this video, guys. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah,
thank you for your brilliant comments as always. Hit the subscribe button. We'll see you tomorrow for the reaction. Take care, guys.
Cheers for tuning in, guys. Thank you.